Now, this first story is in San Francisco, where they have this road called the Great Highway. So let's go ahead and take a look at that.
For 96 years, the Great Highway in San Francisco has been one of the most scenic and convenient drives for people who live in the city's outer Sunset and outer Richmond neighborhoods. But as of today, a 2-mile stretch of that road is officially closed to cars. Last year, voters approved that plan, and it's turned quite controversial to turn the closed portion into an oceanside park. NBC Bay Area's Sergio Quintana shows us day one.
For much of the morning today, city crews were busy removing a turn signal and center median from the Great Highway at Lincoln Way. A couple neighbors ventured over, hoping to see park rangers close the gate for the last time, but they were too late. Joe Leonard says he knows some of his neighbors oppose the permanent car closure, but he's excited about it.
Once change happens, people are open to it. They see a beautiful new result, and it's easier to like something once you see it delivered than when you're wondering what it could look like in the end.
Through the history of the Great Highway, gates like this were installed because sand would often blow across the highway and crews had to close it so that they could clear that sand. At 5 o'clock this morning, park rangers locked these gates for the last time. During the pandemic, the gates were also used to close this stretch so walkers and bikers could enjoy the outdoors at a safe social distance. Caroline Poyawan lived by the other end of the closure near Sloat. She's looking forward to uninterrupted beach walks with her dog and says so far she hasn't noticed any major issues with traffic being diverted around it.
I think because of the gradual closure, there were times where they're closed on Fridays and on weekends. It feels like kind of the same.
Voters approved Proposition K in November, which gave a green light to the permanent closure and its conversion to a park. According to the City Recreation and Parks Department, this will be the biggest pedestrianization project in California. Right now.
All right, so before we continue, I want to show you guys exactly where this highway is so you know what we're dealing with here. So let's go to Google Maps and zoom out of that Texas area, and it's over here in San Francisco. So look at the map. We see right here the Great Highway. So the portion that they're talking about that has closed is right here. So this is the open part, and as you go down south, you see this is what they're talking about with the gate. Here's the northern end of the closed section. This was a 4-lane divided highway that ran, it was the furthest west road in this part of San Francisco. So it's you can tell from this neighborhood that's the major arterial route, was this Great Highway. And here's the southern end of the closure right here. So if you turn on traffic, you can see that. Now, I haven't been to San Francisco yet. Definitely planning to get out there later this year. But from what I can tell here, you don't have any. Your next major arterial route looks like it's Sunset Boulevard. So it looks like traffic will be using this instead, or they'll be driving through the neighborhood on this. What's that? 48th? On 48th Avenue. So it looks like these roads will be handling the traffic that once used this Great Highway. So I can't speak on its effect on traffic. I have not been to San Francisco yet, but that's just from the outside looking in. It looks like that's where the traffic is going to go instead. So if you're local to California, you let me know. What do you think about the traffic using these roads instead of that Great Highway closer to the ocean? All right, let's get back to the video.
The department is asking residents to participate in a naming contest for the park, but not everyone's cheering the change.
Well, I think a particular type of people will certainly come here, and you know that further down the coast there's all those encampments, trailer parks and so forth. Well, here's a perfect place for those kind of people to come.
There had been several families living in RVs near the zoo, but they were cleared out by city crews last year. Other critics say they're lamenting the loss of what had been an easy way to get into and out of the neighborhoods here. Some even filed a lawsuit this week to try and reverse the voter-approved closure. But even as that circulates through the courts, the city plans to install new barriers and signs and host a grand opening of its newest, yet-to-be-named park next month.
And that's the point I didn't think about. I've not been to San Francisco yet, but I can tell you guys that if it's anything like what I saw in LA, homelessness definitely is an issue. But if you're local to the area, you let me know if you have seen any increase in homeless or people crowding the beach since this road has been closed. But now that was the roadway closing, but this was 2 months ago. And there has recently been a proposal or some type of legislation running through the city government to reopen, or at least partially reopen, the Great Highway. So let me show you what's going on now, where they're trying to get it back open.
Gearing up to open its new park. This is along the now closed Great Highway. But there are new developments this morning. San Francisco Supervisor Connie Chan says that she might file a ballot measure to reopen the 2-mile stretch of vehicle traffic.
Today in the Bay's Tom Jensen is live in San Francisco with the latest, or has the latest, I should say, on a hotly contested issue from the start.
Good morning. Yeah, the Great Highway is closed, but this still is not a done deal. Set to open the Sunset Dunes Park tomorrow, but Supervisor Connie Chan says that she could explore a new ballot measure to reopen the highway on weekdays. The highway, you remember, has been a tightly contested issue, but in November, 54% of voters approved closing the highway and making this new open space park. Families got a chance to preview Sunset Dunes last weekend, complete with a new bicycle play area and skills course.
And as you can see, it instantly became super popular with all the kids, parents, adults too, but I think all the adults are letting the kids have a fun day on a Sunday morning.
But opposition to closing the Great Highway has remained strong among the city's voters on the west side who use the roadway more often. That effort appears to continue now. If Supervisor Chan can move her ballot measure forward, it'll cost millions of dollars, and she'll need to get approval of 6 supervisors, so it could be challenging. And while all of that is going on, San Francisco's Ethics Commission is also set to vote on a fine against the Open the Great Highway campaign for failing to file as a political committee and violating city and state election laws. The commissioners could vote on that $2,400 fine later on this morning. It's on their agenda at the regular meeting at 10 this morning.
All right, so Connie Chung is trying to reopen the Great Highway on weekdays and have it closed on the weekends. That could work, but again, you know, this is a local decision. I love seeing local government do its thing. Now, local government isn't perfect because, like you saw in the video, the people who live near the highway that use it the most are against it being closed, whereas people in other parts of the city are for it being closed. So that makes sense, as they wouldn't be as affected by it being closed and losing that way to get around. Now, for this one, like, sometimes I do like to see the comments and see what the people are talking about. So let's scroll down a bit and see what the locals in the Bay Area are saying about the Great Highway. Let me see. We got 59 comments here. Oh, Daniel seems upset. The historic part of California is closed. The Great Highway. Is there no other park instead? Great Highway. There's already a park. They already got a park in San Francisco. What people expect. Is there already a park there? Let's see. I didn't know that there's already a park there. Oh, okay, I see. He must be talking about here. It does look like there's already a park area on this side that was already there. Okay. Okay, he might have a point. Let's go. Let's see. Now, Mike says San Francisco residents need to get propositions on the ballot to close different major roadways in other parts of the city and see how people like closing their major transit corridors. He says first responders will be impacted. Okay. So Mike must live in this part of San Francisco. I use the Great Highway to get to and from work every day for 40 years. This is a selfish injustice. So the people in the comments seem pretty upset by this roadway closing. I definitely got to check out this area when I get to San Francisco. I want to see. I'm interested now. What a ridiculous excuse for a so-called park. Anybody with eyes can tell right off the bat this is a transitional scam waiting for actual real estate developers to swoop in and plop down some millionaire beachfront high rises. Now he got some replies to that one. So at least these people in the comments don't seem too pleased. How nice neighborhood for kids, but what about the rest of the city's kids? Okay, so and the people in the video are pretty excited about it. The people in the comments don't seem too pleased. This is why nothing gets done in any city in the Bay Area, nothing but poor decisions and backpedaling. But it was stupid to try and take away a major highway and cram thousands of cars onto already crowded streets. Is that the case, guys? People out there in San Francisco, are you seeing more crowded streets with this road closed? How big of a deal was this great highway? Some of these people seem to sound like it was a very big deal. But that's the Great Highway, ladies and gentlemen. Grand closing, and now attempting to be partially, at least, reopening.